Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to remove, rebuild, and then reinstall the lock on my driver's side door. Check out the description for a link to a PDF that accompanies this video with steps and pictures on how to do what I do. Let's get started. To get access to your lock, you're going to have to remove your door card. Check out my video on removing the door card. The tools you'll need are a hammer, a hooked pick or bent up wire in a hook shape, a bench vise, needle nose pliers, a flashlight or lamp, and a 2mm wide nail. You only need one part for this video, the left door lock rebuild kit. It contains a lock cylinder, a set of springs and special tumblers, a set of springs and regular tumblers, some grease, the cylinder guide and its onset piece, an inner guide ring, a gold spring, the outer guide ring, the inner catch and a tiny roller, the outer catch, the rear spring, and a dowel. This tutorial has 3 steps. First, I'll remove the lock from the door, then I'll rebuild the lock, and lastly I'll install the lock back into the door. If you've removed the door card, you should be seeing this, the inside of the door. So let's remove the lock. Peel back the moisture barrier about halfway. Remove this protective sticker, don't lose it. The next thing we need to do is remove the clamp holding the lock in place with your hook. It's hard to see, so I'll demonstrate first. This isn't very hard to pull out. If you find that it is, check that you're pulling on the right part. The lock should be free to take out of the door now. It takes some maneuvering to remove. This is what we're going to be rebuilding with fresh parts. It's pretty greasy, so don't wear anything light in color. Now let's rebuild it. The first thing you need to do is knock out the dowel holding it together. Firmly clamp the lock in your vise, but don't crush it. Using the nail and hammer, lightly knock out the dowel. Insert the key into the lock and remove the nail. Break the lock down until you're left with just the main cylinder. Do this on an old towel or newspapers. Slowly back the key out 1/8 of an inch or so at a time. Remove the tumblers one by one as you go. Set them to the side and maintain the order they are removed in, as well as what side of the lock they came from. Note the difference between the special and regular tumblers. Get your new tumblers. Checking the number code on the tumblers, 1 to 4, recreate the exact sequence the old tumblers are arranged in with new tumblers. Choose one of the sides on the lock cylinder and fill it with new springs. Using lots of grease, lubricate both sides of each tumbler before inserting it into the cylinder. You won't have the chance to add more grease later, so make sure you put enough of it on at this stage. And of course, install them in order, or your key won't work with this lock. Carefully flip the cylinder over, making sure not to let any of the newly installed tumblers or springs fall out. Fill the empty side of the cylinder with new springs. Follow the springs with well-greased tumblers. again in the correct sequence if you want to use your existing key. Inserting the key should fully pull in all 11 tumblers. Assemble the 2-cylinder guide parts and grease up the inner surface, then insert your key and cylinder. The cylinder will only go in one way. If the front of the cylinder is not flush with the flat surface of the cylinder guide, you need to twist the cylinder around a half turn and reinsert it. Also, if you've installed the tumblers correctly, the cylinder should rotate about 30 degrees in either direction. If it doesn't, you've likely incorrectly installed one or more tumblers. Install the spring onto its guide ring. This will require stretching apart the spring's ends. Then install the pair onto the assembly. They'll only fit on one way. Slide the other guide ring onto the assembly. This also only goes on one way. Press it on firmly. Add some grease onto the hooked catch on the surface that will rotate on the lock. Also, add some grease near the roller hole and then add the roller. Slide the two onto the lock assembly. The roller should hide inside the last guide ring, and the catch should be free to rotate about 30 degrees. Slide the rear catch piece onto the assembly. This also only installs on one way. Part of this piece should fit snugly in between the ends of the gold spring. Put the nail back into the dowel hole. Hook the rear spring into the outer catch and then use the angled pliers to hook it in the other end. This part's a bit tricky, but if you try a few times, you'll get it. Remove the nail and place the dowel in its hole. I used the pliers to pound the dowel in part of the way because I was afraid of crushing the lock with a hammer. I was able to press it in the rest of the way using the pliers. The lock should still be able to twist 30 degrees in either direction with the key inside, only now it will spring back into place. All that remains is installing the lock back into the door. Fish the clamping plate out from the bottom of the door. Make sure the wires don't cross the window guide rails. This is very important. Line up the clamp plate with the lock hole in the door and then install your newly built lock like I do here. Compare what you have at this point to these pictures. Next, we have to slide the clamp onto the grooves on the outside of the cylinder guide. It's hard to see in the door, so I'll demonstrate it here. Have a friend firmly hold the lock in place, pushing it into the door from the outside of the car. This will give you two free hands, one to hold the clamping plate tightly against the inside surface of the door, and the other hand free to slide the clamp back onto the lock. I didn't capture this on video, but when it's done, your door should look like these two pictures. Note how the clamp is installed. Test that your lock works like mine does here. Note, the door won't actually lock while open. Reapply the protective sticker and the moisture barrier. Make sure that you line up the holes in the moisture barrier correctly. And that's it. We're done. Enjoy your new lock. Thanks for watching. And hey, if you found this video useful, please like, comment, and subscribe.